Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Futurum Tech webcast, podcast, and Futurum Tech TV. I'm your host, Daniel Newman, principal analyst and founding partner at Futurum Research. Excited for another edition of the Futurum Tech podcast interview series, partnering up this time with Samsung to talk about Samsung's Tech Day 2021. And I'm excited to have a guest that's been with us before, Mr. Jim Elliott. Jim has spoken also at our 6.5 summits. He's been here on the pod with me on my webcast, and he's a really, really great guy. So we're going to hammer home all the exciting insights that are going to come from Tech Day, an event I had been to in the past, an event I've spoken at in the past, and one that I'm fond of, and one that has a really great looking lineup for this year. Quick disclaimer, this show is for information and entertainment purposes only. And while I will be talking with and to executives of publicly traded companies, please do not take anything we say on this show as investment advice. And without further ado, Jim Elliott, welcome to the show. Jim,
Thank you, Dan. Excited to be here, man.
Been a while. I get you in spurts. It's usually around some event that you have or I have, and then I get a whole lot of Jim. And then you go and you make magic happen in your cave, and then you come back out. And when that new magic is made, I get to talk to you again. So
that's what we do. That's the new reality. But yeah, I'm excited to be here. So thanks.
Excited to have you back. It's starting to feel like maybe I'll see you in person at some point, though. We're starting to get back to that
meeting. A 3D meeting could be exciting.
3D, IRL, something like that. So real quick, I want to make this an exciting but fun and fast-paced show for everybody. Not everybody watches every show nor remembers every guest. So give us the 30-second, who is Jim Elliott?
So again, nice to meet you guys. Jim Elliott, I've been at Samsung for about 20 years. I've been in the memory industry for about 25 years. And I run the memory sales business unit here for North America. So I've got a really cool job. I get to talk to all of our customers here in North America and really work with them to bring all of our latest and greatest technologies to market. So super excited to be here. And again, thanks for working with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dive in. Let's talk about Samsung Tech Day 21. God, it feels like it's been years since you and I shared the stage. Was
yeah,
it was crazy. Give me a little background for those that aren't familiar. What's the genesis of Tech Day?
Sure. So again, let me just say I'm super fired up to be here again this year to talk about Tech Day 21. And the vision for Tech Day actually started back in 2014 as an event where we could showcase Samsung's entire memory portfolio as well as our technology leadership. And we've been actually holding this event on site at our campus now since 2017. Every year, obviously minus 2020, like everyone else. So it's actually great to be back, even though it's virtual, hosting the event again this year. So we put together a really cool program that focuses on how Samsung is powering experiences with our memory technology. Everyone's going to be able to hear from our customers, ecosystem partners, and even universities that are using our technology.
Yeah, there's a great list, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So you're powering experiences with your memory technologies, and then there's all these new social technologies and social media platforms that power they create our memories with their experience technology. And the two technologies need to work together. That's good stuff.
Indeed. Yes.
So this year's program, right? Virtual. I think this is the last time, though. I'm really optimistic. Now, of course, everybody will play it by ear because Samsung's a company, you're analytically driven. You're going to make decisions based on safety and, of course, good optics.
Yep.
That's a double entendre, by the way. But you've got a really good program. You got keynotes, you got showcases, you got customer collaboration. It's a great list of customers. We'll talk more about that. Even like you said, academia is showing up. So what are some of the things that now that you know the lineup of the event, what's got you fired up?
Yeah, so again, we're super excited this year to put together this program where we can give our attendees kind of a window into how Samsung approaches memory innovation. So for example, in the keynotes track, people are actually going to be hearing directly from our senior memory leadership about all the latest innovations around DRAM, NAND, as well as product solutions. Basically everything that's driving this memory revolution that's powering all these IT products. And for anyone who's attended our demo pavilion live at past Tech Day events, our technology showcase sessions is really designed to kind of emulate that and give participants a virtual walkthrough or kind of a deep dive, if you will, into some of these latest advances. Things like computational storage, advanced memory technology, data storage advances, and even new interfaces. We're also, as you mentioned, pretty excited to have some of these top universities and their professors showcasing their work and projects that are using Samsung memory, such as storage acceleration and even smart SSD. And so, kind of from a who's who list of schools, got MIT, UCLA, Carnegie Mellon is kind of the heart of AI there, and UCSC. You know, Dan, these are all the schools that I had to turn down when I went to UC Davis here in California.
I understand. I've got one of those stories too. I won't
Uh-huh.
publicize it, but yeah, all of those schools were chasing me.
Yep.
I tell that story at the bar, not on video. So, listen, one of the things I also thought was very interesting as I was kind of going through though the program was the customer collaborations.
Mhm.
That seems, I mean, you always have focused on that, but that seems like something you
Mhm.
were really able to get a lot more. Maybe, as I said, maybe because you're virtual. I know at least from our 6.5 Summit, the type of people we're
Right.
able to get by going virtual. It seems like you guys have had some of that same benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that really made logistics come together quite nicely. And I just love the fact we're able to showcase and hear from so many of our customers and ecosystem partners that are utilizing our technology. You know, we've got an amazing group of customers and partners in the industry we've been working with. And it's great to have so many different collaborations that are going to be featured this year, some of whom you've heard from at past events, but we also have a few new participants, so there's going to be a few new, more surprises. So people really aren't going to want to miss out on that.
But let's dig into that because Tech Day was like notorious for being kind of this one live moment. Like I
Hmm.
said, when I came, it was like it was jammed. It was
Hmm.
like 4 or 5 hours long, and it was like boom, 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 and it was a packed room, packed house. Like I said, awesome stage, great speakers, particularly the guy you introduced, really strong. Did like a 10 trends thing. I loved every second of
Now I
it.
remember that guy.
Yeah, he was great. He was supposed to come back too, but I think he got trapped overseas. I don't
That's all
remember if he
right.
was gonna come
It
back and speak
happens.
again. But but in all serious, like how are you guys coping with the whole going virtual? Because I just mentioned like it feels like your lineup got like supercharged by it,
Right,
but
right. Yeah,
we're
so
all
just
kind
like
of fatigued. Like, so how are you balancing that, playing off this and really, set to make an awesome event?
it is kind of a balance, right? And just like everyone else, we're kind of new to this the virtual game, the virtual landscape. So we really had to approach it from building an event where you're not constrained by time or audience size based on how big the room is. So we kind of removed those constraints like in the past. And then for this level of event, getting everyone into the same room, same day, same time is almost next to impossible, as you mentioned, right? So being remote, the irony there is it actually allowed us to open up our agenda to feature more customers, partners, and even universities who may not all would have been able to attend simultaneously, given travel or calendar conflicts. And so really, I think I'm excited. We're going to hear more customer stories, more innovations, and it's great to be able to showcase all of these in their entirety. But most important, we're actually able to grow our attendee list and extend invitations to a much, much broader and even international audience. So now we can showcase even more content that people can choose from based on their own areas of interest. So they can they choose their own narrative or stories or drill downs, if you will.
Like those books when you were a kid, Choose Your Own
Yes, the choose
Adventure,
your own
right?
adventures, exact with a tech twist.
Those are awesome, by the way. I didn't have an iPhone because I'm old, but I didn't have any sort of smart device. I didn't have a foldable, nothing. I had nothing. I had books, Jim,
I
but
did
you know
too.
what?
I remember those.
Yeah,
I
it
had a
was great
couple of
though.
them.
Built the brain, built the
Uh huh.
mind.
Uh huh.
So just leaning into that though, just a little bit is, it's such a challenge right now, and I give you guys a lot of kudos because first of all, I guarantee right up to the last possible moment, you guys were on the fence, live, not live, live, not
Right, right,
live.
right, right.
And so when I actually saw the lineup come out, though, I said, "This is really great." I will make an early bet that you guys will get a spike in attendance.
Hmm.
You will get a surprising spike in engagement, and I also bet that that is not a reason whatsoever to not go back to doing it live and in person, but that there is a lot to be learned, a lot of balance. I mean, I just got back to going on the road, was just at an event this week. And it reminds me how much less effective I am when I'm on airplanes and in airports and traveling all the time.
Sure.
You can really make the most out of a couple of hours when you are able to do it remote. So I'm really excited about this. Another thing that really excited me, by the way, was that you guys really were able to pin down the who's who. And it's funny because in semiconductors, there's a lot of cooperation and competition. There's a lot of, hey, we work together, we're manufacturing the chips for these folks that also make a chip that competes with our chip. And of course, the global supply constraints are not something I'm going to even ask you about right now, but everyone in the world is aware of semiconductors now. If you weren't 2 years ago, you are now. How did you guys get so many of these companies to all step up and partake in your event?
Yeah, and again, I think that was one of the arcs or the overall theme of this is about collaboration, and I think that's the most interesting thing about this Tech Day versus Tech Days in the past is the event really is all about collaboration now, right? So these past industry silos are now partners and collaborators for bringing new technology to the market and breaking through barriers. So it's all about how we come together now to further that technology advancement, to support these applications like AI or machine learning, 5G, automotive, gaming, etc. A lot of these things have really came, as you mentioned, during the pandemic. Now everybody knows about semiconductors, but I think all this time behind the scenes, semiconductors have been driving, and memory have been driving all these innovations for decades. So I think there's a lot more we can offer each other, and I think you'll hear about that from a few of those participants and some of our partners at the show.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear that. I will tell you, I wrote a prediction in the beginning of 2020 for Market Watch, and I said semiconductors will eat the world. It was one of the 10
You
trends.
said that in 2020 pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic. Like actually, it
All
was
right.
maybe just in China at that moment in time, but I'd said
Okay. Okay.
semiconductors will eat the world. And then I actually wrote an article, a follow-up, basically saying that semiconductors have nowhere to go but up. And the reason I said
All
that
right.
is margins are growing, Op Inc. is growing, volume is growing, and these secular trends, all this demand is not going anywhere. It's not going away. In fact, we've seen vehicles go from a handful of sensors to dozens of sensors to hundreds of. And I mean, that's just the example, though. And it's in so many different places. And of course, memory plays such a critical part in us being able to access all this data and use it in all these applications. People are finally starting to see the way this all comes together. So, let me just wrap this up and basically say, Jim, I'm really excited. I'm excited to be able to be part of this from afar. I do look forward to the 3D thing at some point once again. We will be covering the show. We're going to bring you back, actually.
Yep.
We're going to bring you back, Pat Moorhead and I, who do the 6.5. We're going to do a postmortem with you. So we're going to be watching. We're going to come up with some, of our favorite moments, thoughts, parts, and we're going to bring you and have Samsung Semiconductor come back, chat to us post Tech Day. But we'll also be tracking the show. And then, everybody out there also, Jim and I are going to do some other work, some other content, and I'll be sharing that in the show notes here. But look, everybody, if you're listening, we're going to share the link, register. And when you register, check out Jim's talk. I'm telling you, he's very entertaining. I'm sure you're going to put on quite a show, and I'm sure the whole day is going to be very interesting. But Jim, thanks for spending a few minutes with me here today.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan. And we'll see you at the show.
All right. I'm going to put you in the green room, and I'm going to wrap up the show. All right, everyone, there you have it. Samsung Tech Day 2021. Check it out in the show notes. Click the link, register. We would love to have you. I'm telling you, I've been on site. I've listened to the whole day before this particular year, and the roster looks extremely compelling. So for that, got to say goodbye. Time to sign off. Click subscribe. Stick with the show. Future Tech Webcast, Podcast, and Future Tech TV. We appreciate having you. I got to say goodbye. See you later.